Throughout this presentation, we'll be looking at different scenarios that are in need of technology resources to engage students, supplement material, and extend learning. Through each scenario, keep in mind the classroom has students with specific learning disabilities in reading and/or math, English language learners, students with varied ability levels, multicultural students, and students with limited access to technology in the home. Our first scenario is Mr. B is introducing his 4th grade students to fractions, and his curriculum requires students to solve word problems using fraction skills. His students are struggling and he is not certain whether it is because they lack the basic fraction skills or whether they are struggling with comprehending what the word problem requires them to do. He is looking for technology resources to assist his students. There are many resources out there that can help Mr. B in his situation. Adaptive Mind is a great place to start with a little extra practice for the students. The students can practice with interactive games and material at school or at home. PBS Kids is another great tool for lesson planning. Mr. B can use the lesson shown here with his students to create a fun and engaging lesson with all different learning styles. As Mr. B continues to look further into teaching word problems, he can read up on the do's and don'ts of problem solving on homeschool math. Our next scenario is Mrs. C is a 7th grade science teacher with a diverse group of students. She is creating a lesson plan around habitat loss in local environments and wants to use technology to help support her diverse students. She is struggling, and as a teacher leader, you are mentoring her through using technology to help meet their needs. Mrs. C's situation has a number of possibilities for technology application. With her diverse classroom, they can all create a collage or a poster to represent habitat loss or their knowledge of the lessons on Globster. Mrs. C can create her own videos or interactive material from anywhere and then upload them to EduCreations. This will widen the style of learning in the classroom. Once students have grasped on the subject of habitat loss, Mrs. C can use the National Wildlife website to apply student learning to real-world situations. There's a section on there for people to speak up for animals and habitats nationally and locally. Finally, our third scenario is Miss R is a high school English teacher who is preparing students for a state-mandated test with a heavy reading and literature focus. Because this test is a graduation requirement, she wants to ensure her students will perform well and pass the test. She has come to you looking for help on using technology to help students prepare for this test. Preparing students for standardized testing is not an easy task. Ms. R has many options to give background knowledge about all different areas of reading and literature. Some of those websites include Read, Think, Write, Wonderopolis, and Learner. All these websites have links, articles, and other material for teachers and students. Ms. R can create lessons based on the information found here, as well as students can research topics in reading and literature. Ms. R can also use Glencoe to assess student knowledge through practice standardized testing material. Ms. R should also prepare the students for the test itself. Through Scholastic, Ms. R can research test-taking strategies and tips for students at all levels.